It's Ibn Webb, Quran, and some. Just back at it, what I mean, with this official thanks. Looking forward to who I got jumping on, man. Actually, him and his team been brought up a couple of times, talking to some people, man. I call them the Irvington boys. You know what I mean? I was lucky to get one of them on as far as reached out to him. He said, nah, not a problem, man. I jump on. So looking forward to just hear about his journey and just kind of what he's been up to. Definitely a good dude, good solid dude. So looking forward to it. So just hold tight. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. First and foremost, thank you. I know it was like a cold text or message out to you too, man. So like I said, I appreciate the solid. Like I said, I'm Ibn here. We've probably met indirectly sometimes some years ago. Who knows? But like I said, I really appreciate the solid.
No problem.
Yeah. You ain't gonna crash nothing, are we?
Nah, man. I'm actually I'm on my way to my house now, so it's a pretty quiet road here, one lane.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. No, cool. Can you hear me? I know you just froze up.
I hear you good. My connection's pretty decent out here. It's not the greatest. I'm out here in God's country, so to speak, but it's
Okay.
it holds its own.
Okay. Nah, that's what it is. And like I said, I appreciate the solid, man. And I'm not sure if you even might have tried to see a video or two, man. But like what I've been doing, I call this like official things. Like basically what I've been doing initially just jumped off in regards to just family, immediate family, just kind of doing something cool around this pandemic, getting them online and what have you here, just having them talk and then, just share my appreciation for them. And then as I was thinking, I was just like, you know what, I've been a sports kind of junkie and just being from, Orange, Essex County, just kind of playing, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, you name it here. Just a lot of people that, I admired or, looked up to or what have you, just kind of was inspired by, man. And I was just like, let me just reach out, and see who I could get. And actually this thing then, took a life of its own, which has been pretty cool. And then that's kind of what it is, the long short of it, man. It's like get a dose of nostalgia, for a quick second, and I think also too, like I like to share with people, sometimes we just don't know, like, where somebody might be at in their life, man. And I think it's a nice little pick me up, whether it's the person that's talking or whether it's somebody that's watching is like, damn, I was that dude, I was that girl. Let me get my butt up and do something with myself because my life ain't over. So that kind of got a little, another little angle to it as well too. So it's just, just chopping it up, man, and just taking, like I said, a stroll down memory lane up to the present, man, and that's what it is. That's what it is.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. So I mean, I just jump right into it, man. I know you born, raised in Irvington, or you was raised somewhere else and eventually ended up in Irvington.
Yeah, I ended up in Irvington. I actually was born in New York. I'm originally from Brooklyn, and
Okay.
I lived there for about 12, about over 12 years, maybe a little less. I got to Irvington actually via Newark. I actually moved to Newark from Brooklyn in the middle of sixth, seventh grade, and then I went to Newark for a hot second. Was there for a minute. The story goes that my father got to know the coach from Irvington High School. I used to go to their eighth grade clinics when I was like fifth, sixth grade. And my father was working actually in New Jersey, and the coach started recruiting me. Back then, he was like, yo, you got to get your son to come to Jersey and play Jersey ball. And they actually moved to New Jersey, but ironically, they moved to Newark by accident.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
were actually in the Ivy Hill section of Newark.
Right.
And they actually moved again my freshman year of high school so I could play ball at Irvington High School. So it was kind of wild. But yeah, I was originally born and raised in New York. And like I said, I lived there till like my mid school, my junior high school days. And then they moved me out to Jersey to play ball out in Irvington.
Oh, all right. What part of Brooklyn you was at?
Flatbush.
Flatbush.
East 35th Street, right off of New York Ave and Farragut Road, right around by those projects.
Okay.
So I was there for a while before I moved to Jersey.
Nah, that is good stuff, man. And then obviously just being whether it's BK or even North Irvington eventually, man. Like, when's your love for sports start?
I mean, I played basketball. I can remember as early as like when I was a little kid. I had a little Nerf set in my room. I was fortunate enough to have my father put a little basketball hoop up in Brooklyn. We had a little yard back there, so I just was always around basketball. I just grew up with it, you know, playing with it in my room. It's like one of my first toys I ever had was like a little Nerf set where I was just playing around inside my room all the time. And eventually just, you know, got so normal for me to be around basketball, also because my father was immersed in it so much as a coach. And, you know, he brought it home with him every day. I used to see him, you know, I used to come with him to practices when he used to coach some big time high school basketball in New York. He was a coach for Christ the King. He was one of the assistant coaches there. He coached at Boys and Girls High School in Erasmus in New York. So I used to go to a couple of the practices when I was a little kid and just got immersed in basketball so much that it just kind of came second nature to me. It was just like something I thought I was supposed to be doing as I got older.
Yeah, you so was it basketball, was anything else, or was it solely just basketball?
I like football. You know, I wanted to play football. I'm always been a big Steelers fan. I'm a diehard Steelers fan still to this day. So I like actually watching football more than basketball now. I'm not a fan of any team in the NBA, but I am a fan of the Steelers. I tried my hand at baseball a little bit. I liked it, but Irvington, the weather just didn't agree with me at the time. You know, I go out there, I tried to play with Coach Mate from Irvington. He wanted me to play. And they put me out in the outfield, and I was standing out there, and it was like 30 degrees, 35 degrees. I wasn't really thrilled about standing around out there and playing baseball. So I didn't last very long with baseball.
Yeah,
But I wanted to play football. I actually wanted to go out to play a wide receiver role. And Coach Fenchel at the time, he refused to let me play. He wouldn't let me play football. He talked my father into not letting me play because he didn't want me to get hurt playing football, I guess. So I wanted to go out for a wide receiver. I did think I'd have been a pretty decent wide receiver. I had the length and I don't know if I had the speed for it to play wide receiver, but I wanted to give it a shot. But they shot me down real quick.
Yeah.
But they were like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I ended up staying with basketball. But I love all kind of sports. I've been around sports all my life because of my father and my mother. I used to play tennis. I used to play tennis a lot. I played, you know, like I said, when I went to college, I was a beast in intramural football. I won like MVP. Until my coach found out. And
about to pull the plug on that.
Yeah, he pulled the plug on that too. He was like, "You're a Division I basketball player. You shouldn't be playing football out in the fields." So he kind of cut that off in my freshman year. But I got in one good season my freshman year where I was playing really good. But I've always liked sports. But yeah, basketball has been the biggest influence. Was the thing that I got the green light on. I like playing other sports, but my parents, my coach, football wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. And I know, obviously, you you go bottom line what your parents say, that they ultimately your coach told you to do here as far as the best interest of the team, and obviously that paid dividend, in the long run. Sometimes we don't even look at it that way. I know, Irvington Powell, was you a frequent visitor there?
To be honest with you, I didn't get to go to the Pal as much at all, to be honest with you. Growing up, I was playing more AAU ball. Like I would go play out. I joined the Newark Rams with Brian Crawford.
Right, right.
Yeah, he caught me early. I was playing in 8th grade. I was like, I don't know, 7th grade. Right when I got to Jersey, I tried out for the Newark Rams team, and they got me in. And I was playing with, Wally Dixon, Capers, myself, a couple cats from his team. We were traveling. We go to Arizona.
Right.
We go to all over the place. I was in the national youth games in Pennsylvania. So I didn't really get a chance to do anything really local. My father kind of kept me doing things on a larger scale. He'd make me, I go to camps. I go to a lot of camps in the summer, and then during school, I was just basically a homebody. I'd stay home. You know, if it wasn't basketball season, I would just come home because Pops wasn't really trying to fill me out and about, get
Okay.
mixed up with anything, you know, in that element. You know, being in Irvington, it was real easy to get mixed up into something that wasn't good. So I kind of had I got a girlfriend. You know, I had a girlfriend, so he was cool with that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, I was just off the streets and stayed with the girlfriend, or I was in the lab, you know, practicing playing ball. I'd go to the gym a lot. They had me. I was able to get into the basketball gyms at Irvington at the high school, and I would just go in there after school once they cleared it out, and I would be just practicing in there with my father, or a couple of cats would come in, so we'd practice in the gym.
Good stuff. And Max, about the later part of your Newark wildlife, because you probably have no clue. We played a few times against each other, man. I played for the Newark Rams when I was 13 or 14. And then we wound up switching over to East Orange. I was with Brev, Eddie Elam, and those guys. So we went over to East Orange. So we wound up having to play Newark Rams a few times in a couple of tournaments too. So I definitely remember you. So I always remember you to love slapping them boards, layups too, like the two hands. But slapping the boards is crazy. Well, that was like the thing to do. So
yeah, I was when you couldn't get up that high, like Caper and Wally, I had to slap the board. That was my emphasis. So you know, I did what I.
Absolutely, man. It did. So we get to high school. With that being said, you playing varsity right from the door, or you had to earn your stripes a little bit?
Well, I was going to play. No, actually, my father wouldn't let me play varsity freshman year. I wanted to play varsity. They let one other guy who was my year play, Jermaine Sparrow.
I remember that name.
Yeah, he was a cool cat. He's a cool cat. The varsity team wasn't that good, but I wanted to play. But for some reason, my father wouldn't. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but he told me play JV, and they didn't let me play on varsity. So they let Jermaine play, and that varsity team that year were like 3-18 or something. Our JV team was pretty solid. We lost once the whole season to like Elizabeth, I think it was.
Okay.
You know that routine. They had all those cats, Isaac Morgan, and then when I got to varsity, my sophomore year, they had Luther Wright and Tano.
Yeah.
So they had a stacked squad. But no, I didn't play till my sophomore year. They kept me off varsity. I played JV as my freshman year, then I went to varsity sophomore year.
Okay. So you get varsity. So once you got the varsity, no looking back as far as JV or none of that. You just straight varsity.
Yeah, no, I was in the varsity game. We had a pretty okay squad my sophomore year. We had a little guard. I believe his name was Lakeem Lanier. He was kind of like our go-to guy. And I was just learning I was getting my feet wet playing varsity. So I was, doing what I can. And I would say the focus was around Lakeem because he was the senior on the team. Yeah. But I stayed on that team from sophomore year on. So.
And then things, and obviously in the summertime, obviously from 14, 15, you stayed with North Graham straight through pretty much in the summer, or you switched up? It was only like 2 or 3 AAU teams back then.
Yeah, exactly. The Roadrunners was the other team at the time. The Roadrunners was big. Right. They had Sandy. Sandy recruited me a little bit to play for them, but I could never leave Brian. So I kind of was like, nah, I'm good. They had a stacked squad. They always had people, they had Jerome Davis. They had a lot of kids out of the Elizabeth program. Lawrence Thomas, I think, played with
Lawrence, right.
So, they had a stacked squad too, but I like Brian. He was cool. He treated me well. And I like the cats I was playing with at the time. I didn't want to desert them. So I just wrote it out with Newark, the Rams. And I stayed with them.
Now it comes together junior year, man. Like, did y'all know y'all was gonna set it off then? You had that feeling. I know you talked about that one team as a freshman. You guys, that JV team was pretty solid. But yeah, you had a feeling like that junior year, this thing was about to come together. Y'all was about to take off.
I thought we had a good nucleus if Kenya stayed eligible. Cape was, he's from the streets. He was a cool cat, but Fench was trying to
get them to stick and stay in school, because we got a lot of talent in Irvington, as you may know, and
Yeah.
Newark and all. But a lot of these cats, they don't got it up here, so they wanna play, but they don't want to play. But take care of the school situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt if everybody stayed eligible, and then we had this big guy transfer in.
Yeah, Big John from Orange. Big John, you about to say, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he came through, and I was like, well, we really looking pretty good. His eligibility came into question a little bit, so I was a little worried about him. But with him coming over, and then with Kenyon, we had a good nucleus. I thought that with our size and the abilities I saw developing with the other guys around us, I thought we had at least a decent shot to make some noise in the next year or two, as a junior and as a senior, because we had pretty good nucleus, I thought, put together at that time.
No, you definitely did. And may he rest in peace. You had Haas, too, coming off the bench, too, right?
Yeah, Haas
that was my man. Yeah, that was my man.
Yeah, Haas was an enforcer for us.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely would come in and get 2 fouls quick, but he would make the people feel the fouls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He had people looking around when they were going up. They'd look a little bit to make sure he wasn't nearby, because Haas knew how to use the fouls, really.
Yeah, goggles and all, right? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Tough one. He was a tough one.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So y'all get going. I just kind of even conference-wise, I know y'all was in that conference. You just mentioned the Elizabeths and all of them, and obviously that toughen you guys up, for the county. So, I mean, I know I got you going to your think tank a little bit back when, but you guys get going on that first county run. I know y'all get to the finals. Y'all lose to Ira and them, don't you? Y'all lose to Seton Hall, I think, right?
Yeah, Seton Hall Prep took us out. They had my high school memories are pretty good, so I remember a lot. It was Walter Morton.
Yeah, Walter.
I could jump, and they had Brev, they had Ira, they had
Wardell was on that team. Yep.
So yeah, they caught us. We were a little, I guess I don't want to say awestruck, but we had never gotten that far. We get deeper and deeper. Now we get some notoriety, and you go to Essex County College. That's one of the biggest forums we played in our in our area. You go to gyms like Union Catholic or Summit or some of these gyms. Even our Irvington wasn't the biggest place, but Essex County, you go in there, it seats a couple thousand, and we had a crowd following us as we got better. So it was a little intimidating, and they had a good team. Brev, as you know, was NBA caliber.
Right.
Ira made it to the league too. I actually, played with him in college.
A little later, yeah.
And it could have went either way, but their guard play, I think, outplayed our guard play. We just wasn't able to match up with them. I think guard wise, I think size wise, we were okay, but their guard play, Ira was very skilled. Brad, as you know, was a steel master. I caught, but we gave it a shot. We caught them next year though, without Ira. So
yeah, and then even I know the counties, obviously you guys do well, and then I know this in the states, somehow y'all just slipped up here and there. When we, obviously just being a county head, wanting to see everybody do well. I mean, like y'all never got to the tournament of champions and none of that, did y'all? If I could be wrong.
No.
Okay.
Our last shot was my senior year. We lost. We kind of fell victim to the stereotype that we were going to run this team out of gym, and we lost to the.
Is it Shawnee or somebody? Or?
Undefeated. They went undefeated that year. Shawnee.
Okay. Yeah.
And they ran the table.
One of the Earl kids or something like that, right? It was one of them Earl kids.
They had both the Earl brothers, and they had this center that went to Florida State. He didn't do nothing for them, but he went to Brian. I think his name was Brian Luckman or something. He's like 6'10", big boy. He kind of ate us up on the middle. The Earl brothers were definitely, we just underestimated him. Coach Venture had this plan that thought we was going to press him out. We pressed everybody and ran everybody out the gym.
Yeah.
And these cats were fundamental. They break our press and they spot somebody up open, and they were hitting their threes. And we never adapted. And coach learned from that game, because the next year, the next team, who more respect to them, they were smaller than us, I thought, but they had a little bit better guard play. They actually beat the same team, Shawnee. I think they were missing one person, some wing guy, but they had Luckman, they had the Earl brothers, and they ended up beating them the following year playing a whole different strategy against them.
Okay.
And the guard play for Irvington, I think, was a little bit better than our guard play, which kind of helped them win that game.
Now, just to kind of go back just a tad bit. So the junior year, you guys obviously county finals, but the accolades start pouring in. Like you and Kenyon, the first team all county. So instead of being, being the hunters, y'all the hunted now, sort of kind of speak. Like everybody want to get at y'all. So like that shifts. I mean, like where you at? This kind of like this my show senior year, me and Kenyon's show. Like what was your mentality back then? At least yours, speaking for yourself. I know you can't really speak for him, but what was your mentality going in? Because like I said, first thing, you know how big of a deal that is, the whole county thing. That's like, and being juniors at that.
Right. It really set us up I think for us to know that we were going to do something special.
Mm-hmm.
I thought with the accolades coming in, it kind of showed me that people felt we were supposed to do something and put us in that mind frame of, yeah, we gotta get something done this year. So I think it was a positive as far as keeping us, inside of what we want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, when you get tapped on the shoulder, like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this, it gives you that extra incentive to say, let's get it done. So, as we got the accolades personally and the team, I was happy when, the team started seeing state notoriety by getting ranked in the state. And, that's a big deal too. You get that Star Ledger picture when you got the 3 pictures of the guys and they talk about you in an article
mm-hmm.
when you rank in the state. And that means, you're doing something. So that's a good thing. So, the accolades, the notoriety, it just kept everything in perspective to make sure that we were going to try to do as much as we can with what we had in front of us. Because, you don't get that time. You don't realize it, but you don't get those chances back. So you want to try to capitalize the best you can. And I thought we did the best we could at that time based on our surroundings and what we had to deal with. I think we did pretty well, but yeah, we came up short. But senior year, we definitely knew we were supposed to get it done. We went to actually that summer before our senior year, we went to like Central got us into a team camp in Syracuse. We played against some really tough. We actually also went to the ABC. I think it was the ABC Invitational Camp.
Is that the Princeton one or TNEC, something like that, right?
Yeah. So we went out there and we were playing against good teams like I don't know if you remember Snyder. They had Roy
Jersey's,
Harrison.
Hudson County somewhere.
Yeah. We had played against them. We played against St. Anthony's. And we held our own against all these schools that had these, these noticeable people and teams. We went to Syracuse and we won the whole thing out there. We played against Zendis Hamilton, who was the center that played at St. John. Yep. We played against him and we killed everybody in St. John's. Syracuse University at that camp. So just coming into the summer and coming into that school year when we measured ourselves against some top competition in Jersey and then even I would say, I don't know nationally, but regionally at the Syracuse camp, we were like, oh, we're as good as anybody that we face, so we can make it happen. So we had a lot of confidence coming from the summertime,
mm-hmm.
on top of the notoriety, just to try to make something happen our senior year.
And boy, did y'all, you know what I mean? And I think the run y'all went on just to kind of, and even like I know historically with Irvington and basketball, like I said, y'all jump started everything, man. Just kind of that year, just set it off. And I think even I talked to Alan Watson. Ring a bell?
Oh yeah, I know Al real well.
Yeah, Al and Yasin. I was able to get them on. Had them on not too long ago. I know they was taught that heartbreaker they had against y'all in the finals. He said that still bothers him. That still bothers him to this day. Yeah, years later.
It was a tough thing. They played well, but sometimes the cookie don't crumble your way. And that day we had a lot, I thought I played pretty well. Kenya had an okay game. We neutralized their size. They had some big boys. I mean, I knew Rashawn Palmer from that team. We went to camp together at Seton Hall. I played with Al later on, semi-pro here in New Jersey. And, they had Eric Yaden. I think he passed away actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
but they had a good squad, and but we felt so confident going in there with what we had accomplished already and where we stood in the state and the teams that we've beaten and the things that we had done, that we just had that confidence, that swagger that we were going to win. I think that really helps you when you go into a competition, when you have two teams that I would say are pretty evenly matched. I didn't think we were that better than Essex Catholic. I don't think they were that better than us. I just think, though, that when we came in there, we thought we were going to win the game before it played. Like, we thought we had the ability to beat anybody. So when you have that confidence, psychologically, it helps your game even that much better. You're shooting shots much more. It's almost like a reaction. You're not thinking out there. So we're out there reacting and playing to the game. And I think that helps you perform better when you can just react and perform. So instead of thinking, and we got to that point, we were just playing, and some of those plays, you look back and say, oh, I did that. But something more of a reaction more than just, a thought of what should I do next. And I think that helps you, especially when you're in an even match game with two high profile teams like we were.
No, absolutely, man. And then what does that do for Irvington, man? Y'all win that first one. Like, just how was the city then? Obviously, we could go back to mid-'80s with Tammy Hammond and all that other stuff with basketball, how great and legendary she is. But just to kind of just team-wise, you guys, just gotta jump in, man. How was it then, man? Y'all get that monkey off your back from the year before. Just how was it?
Well, it felt great. I mean, it was an accomplishment that we were very proud of. The city embraced it. I mean, everywhere you went, people knew who you were. We got free meals. We go to the 40th Street Tavern for a team meal, stuff like that. There was a banner up in Irvington, downtown Irvington Center where, Essex County champions. And it was just like, we really felt proud to bring some type of positive recognition to the city. It just was great because, adults would talk to you, you'd go to a store and people know who you are, and I wouldn't know them as much. I still get that type of situation from time to time where I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but they recognize me and my face and what I did. So it's a great feeling. But at that time, the city was on fire. I mean, everybody was, parents, police, anybody that knew Irvington or was in Irvington knew about what we had accomplished. And the crowds that would come to our games just got bigger and bigger. And it was just exciting. We go from the Essex County. The next game, I think we finished the regular season, or I could be wrong, but I know one of the games we played Linden, and we go into the gymnasium. I forgot which one it was, and it was it was standing room only. Yeah. It was crazy in there. It was pandemonium. It was ridiculous. It was Wally and Linden, and they had their group, and then we had our fans, and it just got bigger and bigger as we got through the states, and it was a great time, I thought, for myself, for the city. A lot of positivity, a lot of people embracing the fact that we were doing something that was a great thing and brought some families together, some people out, and had something to cheer about. So it was a good feeling at that time. But I felt nothing but love from the people from Irvington at that time. It was always great to see someone know who you are and talk about your game and say you did good. And you got to keep your head straight because you don't want to fly off and think you're the best, but you feel good when people recognize what your efforts and your work did and the performance you get from it. You feel good that people recognize that and can say that they are recognizing you for what your efforts were. So I always appreciated that in that run, because I could go, to school and then come out of school and parents are there or people are at the gymnasium and they're always, congratulating you and appreciative of what you do. And you got your people from around the way. Right. They come to the games, and it was just a great time. People were just happy to be in Irvington, and it was happy that we were doing what we did on the court against a lot of the other people that were local, bragging rights. So it was a good time.
Absolutely, man. And it helped too. You probably still was rocking the Moxley written in the haircut too. You still had that popping?
I had the Moxley basketball. That was my trademark. My barber, Antoine Chitty, who was a member of the team, he would hook me up before the game. So he helped me, that was my signature, and it kind of helped me a little bit, notoriety, the local TV. You'd see the game later on. They'd be like, "Oh, look, there's the Mox carved in the back of his head." So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was, it was like, it was my little trademark. Something I wanted to stick out and be a little bit different than the rest. So it had served its purpose. But yeah, it was good. It kind of also was also to try to intimidate people a little bit. They
of
see
course,
that
of course.
this cat must be something. And then you start lacing them up with the jump shots and the moves, and they're like, oh no.
Hmm.
So it was good times. It was good times.
Absolutely, man. And I know later on that spring or even during that spring, man, you got to make some choices here as far as college. I know you ultimately ended up at Penn. Was there anything else on the table you was considering, or was that just, that was it?
No, actually, ironically enough, it's a weird story about Penn and how it happened. My junior year, going into school at near the end, I caught a appendicitis,
Mm.
and you know, I'm in the hospital, and I got a couple of schools coming to visit me, and I'm like, who's this? And it's Harvard, it's Princeton, it's Yale, and I'm like, why are all these Ivy League schools, coming knocking on my door? And so come to find out, I had talked to I don't want to call a recruiter, but he was a guy. I forgot his name, but I remember when I talked to him, it was at I was going to Seton Hall camp. Every year they invite me to come play at the Seton Hall camp. I actually got recruited by Seton Hall. It was down to me and Luther Wright, and they chose Luther over me. But I had met this guy there, and he talked to me a little bit. Says, "What schools are you looking to go to?" So me being Mr. Funny, because I was a funny guy, always cracking jokes.
Mm.
I said something about, I'd like to go to an Ivy League school. I just said that. I didn't know really if I wanted to go to that or not. I was just BS and just to sound smart. And literally the next day, or next week or two, I actually didn't get as many calls. I was getting recruited by South Carolina.
Okay.
I was getting recruited by St. John's, a lot of local schools,
Hmm.
West Point. Then I had West Point reach out to me. Then I had started some of these Ivy League schools reaching out to me. And I'm like, what's up with this Ivy League stuff? I'm Irvington, I don't know what's going on. Come to find out, this guy had spread the word out that I'm looking to go Ivy. Or I'm looking to go to one of those type of schools. So all the, I wouldn't say high level of education. All these institutions are high levels, but they're not known for their educational programs. So,
Right.
I stopped getting calls from South Carolina. I was looking at a lot of schools in the Big East. Like I said, Seton Hall, Rutgers wasn't in the Big East at the time. They were in
Atlantic 10,
another
I think.
Atlantic 10 at the time, yeah. But they reached out to me. St. Bonaventures reached out to me, but they kind of got quiet. And then I had all these other schools, West Point, Colgate, all these really upper level echelon type of educational institutions wanted me to come play basketball. So I was getting recruited, and I was thinking about going to Rutgers, but again, Rutgers had me out for a game, and they also recruited Wally Dixon.
Hmm.
They chose Wally at the time, so Rutgers went with Wally. Seton Hall chose Luther, and I decided to look into the Ivies more seriously because my parents started getting into my head, like, playing basketball is wonderful. Playing in Division I is fantastic. But what could you set yourself up for the future?
Right.
An Ivy League institution could do that for you. So, after deliberating for a while and thinking about it, even though I had some more opportunities locally, FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson was after me hard. A lot of local Jersey colleges, Ryder had reached out to me. But at the end, I actually chose something as far as my future educationally wise. So I just said, let me. It was between Princeton and Penn,
Okay.
and because Princeton came hard at me, they were like, you don't even have to. Don't worry about it. You're in. Like all these Ivy League schools, I'm thinking I gotta take these. And I took the SATs. I did okay on it, but I wasn't. I wasn't super high.
Yeah.
But they were like, yo, you're good. You could come into Princeton. I mean, I could have gone anywhere. Harvard, Yale. They all were like, you took your SATs. I think I scored like 1080 on it, which is okay, I think, or not that bad, but not like high.
Right.
But they were like, yeah, you're good. Come in and we'll bring you aboard. But the reason why I went to Penn, believe it or not, the reason why I went to Penn was 2 words: Penn relays. They brought me up there. They recruited me, and they brought me up there on Penn Relay weekend.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, this is an Ivy League school. I'm dancing with chicks from the Virginia track team in a dark ass basement in Philly, you know, at a frat house. And I'm thinking to myself, I could do this for 4 years. This is all right. So I went to Penn Relays, and they hooked me right there, and they told me, they said, they gave me some information, said, oh, we're gonna do this, that, and the other. So I was like, sounds good to me. I like the atmosphere. It reminded me of being in the city still, because Philly, Penn was right in Philly, and it was basically home away from home. I felt like, it was definitely not something where I would go off into like into the hills or mountains and be stuck in a little town with 200 people. I was basically in another major city, Philadelphia, and it was right there. You'd walk off Penn's campus and literally be 2 blocks away from downtown Philly. So you were right there, and it was still popping. So I said, Penn's the choice. I'm gonna go for it.
Nah, and that you did, man. So you get down there, you talk about Ivy League, you got a Irvington High education, and obviously I'm not knocking no education, but I'm sure like you had to kind of get on the ball, like when you got down there, like academically, man. Like how was that transition?
It was a struggle at first. I was worried. I got on probation my first semester or second semester. It was definitely not. I was not ready for prime time when it came to the Ivy League education system. A lot of people that got there were from prep schools or private schools. I was taking stuff that I had just seen for the first time, while these people have been taking the steps up to that, pre-calc and whatever. So my freshman year, I was like, oh man, what did I do? I didn't know if I had made the right move, education-wise, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to survive it and stay eligible. So I was a little nervous. I went to, but I got into it. I wasn't like I was dumb. It's just like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't introduced to this type of information to know it and to study it and to understand it. As I got into the work and I went to work study, I got into home study, or the study halls where they set up for us. I got tutored. They had free tutoring. I was able to pick up and become more, educated around what I needed to know. And then I got better at it. So that was a close call though. My freshman year, I was definitely nervous as I started my collegiate career. I mean, I was above my head in a lot of the math that they had. And, I went to Wharton. So Wharton undergraduate business school is no joke. And, you're starting out with economics 101 and 102. And I'm like, whoa, what is all this about? So it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And I had to learn real quick. And luckily, I was able to do that.
Yeah, and eventually, I mean, with anything, man, it clicks. I mean, if you put in the work, it'll click. Now, obviously on the court, how was that for you? Just even high school ball to playing Division I ball. I don't care if it's Penn or North Carolina. Like how was it for you? Just that transition, people coming from all over.
Well, believe it or not, Penn had a really challenging program. I mean, they're one of the Ivy institutions. They play a tough D1 schedule. I mean, we played against them, and we played in the Big Five every year. So the Big Five, you already got Villanova, Temple, LaSalle, St. Joseph's was. So we already had in our schedule some tough competition in the region, and then we played against some top schools. I mean, one of my years that I was there, we were ranked in the nation because we beat really good teams. We beat St. John's. We played against Ohio State. We beat them when they had Funderburk. You played a lot of different top Michigan. We played and beat Michigan. So even though it was an Ivy League school, their schedule that they picked was definitely on par with a lot of your mid-level, mid-majors. We played a lot of pretty well-known institutions and beat them. It was an eye-opening experience though, because I had always been one of the best players on my team, and coming into the situation, I was recruited to play. I was like, oh, we got this guy named Jerome Allen. He's going to be there, and he's going to be he's going to be the guy, and you're going to be the other guard. I did not realize or know that they had actually brought in another guard named Matt Maloney, who came in, and all of a sudden I'm battling against him, and he's got a foot up because, and I don't want to say this.
Coach. Is it somebody to coach, or was
right?
It like,
he's the son of the coach at Temple. So that all went down, and I'm not gonna take anything away from Matt Maloney. He's a hell of a guard, as you can see by his career in college, and he got to the pros. He was legit, but I was recruited to play, and I thought I was going to be in the rotation and start playing heavy minutes in my freshman year, and that wasn't the case. And he had a little bit of a leg up because his father was friends with my coach, who eventually went to Temple after Chaney retired, and he got the coaching job at Temple. So, whatever happened. But unfortunately for me, I was the odd man out in that equation. But still, I got some burn. I played, but not nearly what I thought I would do in my first few years at the program. But it was an eye-opening experience because, I was meeting people from all over the country, all over the world at Penn, because, there's a lot of people that come from overseas to study there. So it was a lot of different cultures, and just the guys I got to know, my teammates from different parts of the country. So it was really, really great experience. I knocked it at the time. I was upset and I was disappointed, and I almost left actually.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I got recruited by FDU, and I was thinking very hard of leaving after my freshman year because I felt I had been jerked around and led. I was led, not with a lie, but I was not given the information that I thought I would make my decision on. I could have been probably starting at Princeton my freshman year. But needless to say, I sat down with my parents, and, after talking to them in soul searching, they said, listen, man, you can't quit. Some people would consider that quitting. You go someplace else. I wanted to go and play, but they were like, if you go and play at a lesser program, what impact do you think that's going to have on your life as an adult when you finish? Like, is that going to be something that's going to help you get to the next level? I didn't know, and I did do some soul searching, but I said, hey, I was pretty good. I didn't know if I would make it to the next level after college, so I said, you know what? If I got a good thing going here with an Ivy League education, still getting to play some ball, maybe I get some more look as I get better, and the coach, works me in, things can get better for me. So I almost left. I almost had my foot out the door. I was halfway out the door. FDU said they would bring me in. They had, I forgot who they had. I think they had Antoine Dasher, or I don't know if he had gotten there yet. But they had a nice little squad, and they wanted to bring me in and say, listen, we still would bring you in. If you want to come, you have to redshirt a year, but you could come in and you'll be getting play. And I considered it, but I sat down, like I said, with my family. I sat down with Coach, and he assured me, he's like, no, we're gonna get you in, and we want to get you into the rotation. But I was definitely considering leaving and going to like Fairleigh Dickinson at the time to try to play more. I just didn't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just crazy, and it's interesting. You mentioned, even you talking about your father and your mom early on, just like that foundation they laid, man. And it sounds like, it paid dividend even doing your soul searching. It's kind of like, you're gonna make a move. You got to think about, later on in life as well too. So you stick it out. Obviously at Penn, you get a Jersey boy that comes down to hang out with you. I talked to Ira actually a couple of weeks ago too. So I know Ira makes his way down there too. So I'm sure that helped to just have some type of connection and just being from around the way.
Oh yeah, no, Ira was cool people, and I built a camaraderie with a couple of people there, both from the team as well as people I lived at actually an African American eccentric home. It was called the WBE Du Bois House. Okay. It was for minorities, so I got to know a lot of people real quick that I could relate to somewhat. some were a little bit not as relatable as others, but some were definitely from my cut from my cloth, so to speak. And then just like you said with Ira and a couple of the guys that I got to know off the team, I felt that I was growing more in all kind of ways than just playing basketball. So I felt good about my situation. I just had wished at the time that I could play more, but it wasn't because I wanted to leave because I didn't like the school. I actually enjoyed Penn. The Philly, the whole situation was positive. It was just the basketball situation wasn't what I expected, which is what was causing me to consider leaving. But like you said, with Ira coming and with the friendships I had, and just like I said, the overall growth I felt happening at that time and just understanding where I was going to be at in 5 years, I was like, is this, Jewish black kid going to be drafted out into the NBA? Yeah, I don't think so. But can I get a job, doing trading on the stock market or get someone to hook me up with a job with a nice, salary someplace because I'm an alumni from Penn, played on the basketball team, which was starting to get in my ear a lot by the coaching staff. A lot of the, I would get some. It was funny because I think it was my freshman year, I got an internship. I never had an internship. I never worked. Coming from Irvington, I didn't, I played ball and that was about it. But then I started getting like decisions being made, like, what do you want to do with yourself? Hey, we're going to give you a job at Penguin USA. So I worked in Manhattan one summer for Penguin USA, a publishing company, right in Manhattan. I was like, oh, this is what's up, And I was working for their marketing, and I'd go to like these. I went to a couple of, I forgot what you call them, but basically they show the movie. They show the movie before they come out. Okay. They actually, it's one of those private showings, private screenings. So I would go to a couple of those. They had a couple of things going on for Penguin USA. So, I was getting immersed in that. Then they sent me someplace else to work for a company called Certainty, where I basically worked in their marketing department. So they were really opening up some doors for me career-wise to make me consider, this is a good thing to be an alumni from Penn and play basketball. People know who you are. They're rabid. Just like any major college, you have your rabid supporters for athletics, and these guys have pockets. So I could tell you stories where we win a game and then they take us out to a steakhouse for dinner in New York, and I'm looking at the menu like, I ain't paying for like $100, and they shut the restaurant down and we're eating a steak dinner for free at this restaurant. Or Penn alumni put us, and who knows if that was illegal or not, but I ain't complaining. It was a good time. So
absolutely.
But yeah, it was good to have those people come around and help me, accept the situation and make the best of it.
And even with that being said, I know obviously you play, you continue to play, minutes or whatever the case is might have yo-yo throughout your time there. Did you, once you got done, obviously you had those connections, but even with basketball, was there any like pro aspirations to go like overseas or do anything, or you just like, let me start my other life?
So I ended up choosing to play overseas. I actually I actually had a chance to trade gold on the stock market.
Okay.
Funny story. And I turned it down because I wanted to play pro ball. And one of the assistant coaches, who's actually the head coach at Penn now, Coach Donahue, he got me a gig to play out in Sweden. So I went to Sweden and played there after my senior year and played pro ball out there in Sweden for a year.
How was that?
Oh man, I dream about it still today.
Okay.
That was the best of the best. If there was levels of basketball fun, basketball life, my high school life was right up there as one of the best times of my life. College was all right, but pro ball in Sweden and being an American in a European country, and they know you're there to play professional basketball, is like a smaller version of being an NBA player in an American city. So it was fantastic. I go to clubs, people knew who you are, they buy you drinks, they want to take pictures.
Yeah.
It was just a big thing. Basketball was growing ever since. That was right around when the Dream Team came over and did what they did. So basketball was just growing overseas rapidly. So everybody wanted to get to know basketball more. So, when I got over there was a growing interest in basketball. So, I got in at the right time, and these people embraced me and I wish I had gone back, but like that, I messed up. I made a bad decision. I made an uninformed decision, but I
Okay.
was young and dumb at the time. You know, I had aspirations of playing in a bigger country, money
Hmm.
wise.
Hmm.
Money was okay, but I wanted to make real money. So I said at the time, the owner of the team wanted me for that. I was top 3 in the league in scoring. We were going to make the playoffs and all that. And he had wanted to have a dinner with me. I didn't realize at the time I should have said what I said, but at the dinner, he asked me, "So are you coming back?" And I was like, "I don't know. I really should have been like, of course I am going to come back. Yeah, why not?"
Right.
But I didn't know at the time, so I told him what I really thought, which I've always been trying to straight up, like I really don't know. So I might come back, or I might go to a better country because I wanted to make more money, and I felt I could play at a higher level of competition.
Hmm.
With that being said, they decided to go their separate way the next season, and my agent decided to represent only NBA players, and he cut me loose. And I ended up not getting back overseas because I didn't have agent. At that time, you needed agent representation,
Hmm.
and I tried to catch on with somebody, but he cut me so late in the game, I kind of like got stuck where I was at, and the other team I was with had already moved on and brought in another player. So
Yeah.
I cut that road off, and I I got a couple of workouts, and just didn't happen for me. I was unfortunately didn't get back overseas, but looking back, I would have probably played a couple more years if I had just answered it the way I should have answered it, knowing now, which is, yeah, of course I'll be back, sir, and looking forward to playing with you guys again. But I didn't know, and I know my agent wasn't really focused on me. He was trying to represent more NBA. He was based out of Florida,
Okay.
and I didn't really have local representation that was in it for me. He had just picked, I was kind of like a you know, oh, I'll pick him up. He's going to Sweden. It was a kind of a package deal because I got the agent through my coach, and I got to Sweden, but he kind of like let me loose right before the season started, and I kind of talked my way off that team, which was my mistake, and I didn't get picked up again. So my overseas pro life was cut short because once you miss a season, it's very challenging to get back overseas the next season if you've missed a season. And what made
Okay.
it worse for me was they had this coach for 1 year, the year I was there. He was a coach of a little elementary kids, and they wanted to make him the coach of the pro team. Some,
Hmm.
I didn't understand it. He was okay to me, but he was very basic, very he almost coached us like we were kids, and the practices were a little bit more rudimentary. And what hurt me, which I didn't realize at the time, is he didn't release any of the video of my games to me. He wouldn't give me any of the tapes.
Wow.
And I didn't have anything to show what I did. So unfortunately, when people were like, "Oh, I see you scored 27, you have tape of that," I was like, I couldn't get the tape from the team. So that hurt me even more. I was basically stuck without tape, just stat lines, and that
Hmm.
really didn't translate to another opportunity for myself.
Yeah.
So
So, nah, that's interesting, man. I mean, and even with all that being said, obviously, I know you talked about doing some of the pro-ams and all that other stuff, but career-wise, I mean, did you get that degree in business, or was it something else?
no, I got a degree. I got a degree in economics
Okay.
with a concentration in marketing. I did
Okay.
marketing. Was a BS in economics.
Okay. So what you wound up doing with yourself? Obviously, I know you were still playing ball, but with your other career, what you wound up getting yourself into?
Well, absolutely nothing to do with marketing.
Okay.
Um,
Sometimes
I
it ends up that way.
funny story. So I'm working out in Philly. The mayor, who I think was at the time Ed Rendell, he was a Penn alumni. He gets me a job, cushy job, while I'm working out uh, at this place called the Carousel House,
Okay.
which is a house for mentally disabled people. I go and help them in the morning. I help them on the bus. I did all kinds. It was a pretty cool job. I would do bingo with them. I would help feed them, fish fry. We take a bus, and then I'd help drop off the people. I'd pick them up and help them. So it was really a very positive job, positive experience for me. Got to see a lot of people that were less fortunate and help them. I'm working out there, trying to get back overseas. They have a full gymnasium there, full gym. So I'm working out and I'm lifting weights. And in one of these afternoons, I'm out there just shooting around, working on my moves. And these guys walk in. I'm looking at them like 6'9", big dudes, like, who are these cats coming up in here? Like, well, I don't know these guys. And then walks this one white dude, and he starts shooting around. And I could tell he wasn't with them, but he was with them.
Yeah.
And they were like 9 dudes, and they were like, "Yo, we need one. You want to play?" So I was like, "Oh, I haven't, I played all the time." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll play." So I did what I did, and at the end, the white dude comes over. He's like, "Yo, who are you?" And I tell him who I am, and I went to Penn. He's like, "You went to Penn?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to stay loose and get ready to try to get back overseas." So he gives me his card. He's the CEO at the time of Pathmark, Jim Donald. He was the CEO of the whole Pathmark company.
Yeah.
So he was like, if you ever need a job or if you're interested in working after basketball, hit me up. So I'm like, cool. So I get the car. I didn't think nothing of it. I got a car from the CEO. That's cool. I've talked to other people at Penn. I've met a lot of people. The short end of it, I didn't get back overseas. Now my time in Philly's coming to an end. I had rented an apartment. I'm using up my money I had spent. So I'm like, yo, I can't live on my own. And I don't have no income. I'm just working out.
Yeah.
I got my school bills is about to come open. Penn ain't cheap and I ain't getting no scholarship. So I'm going to have to start making some money. So I hit him up. I'm like, hey, so what are you talking about? So I go up there. He puts me in this management training program. And basically all I'm doing is playing basketball in these tournaments with him. So he's taking me these 3-on-3 tournaments, these 2-on-2 tournaments.
You sound a little echoey. I don't know if you switched up. Or...
No, I'm saying I'm just outside.
All right, okay. Now? I can hear you. Go ahead.
So he basically hires me and puts me in a management training program, and all I'm doing is playing basketball. I'm playing in his rec league in Red Bank, New Jersey. I help him win championship, intramural stuff there. But that's all I do for like 2 years. I'm playing basketball for Pathmark, CEO. And I'm playing World Be Free. I'm playing them three tournaments with World Be Free. I'm playing with, I'm going to charity games. He's doing charity games for like different, businesses and institutions. I play at Madison Square Garden. We play against Coke, the Coca-Cola.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy. We're doing all kind of crazy stuff. I got VIP seats after the game. We're watching the Knicks game. I'm sitting up in VIP with this guy and Coke. It was a crazy time. So it was management, and he's like, yo. Like 2 years go by, he's like, because I'm still trying to play ball. He actually recruited me to work for him by saying I knew at the time, Calipari was the coach of the Nets. And he was like, he had like a signed picture, like, listen, I'm gonna get you a workout or a tryout for the Nets. I know Calipari. So I was like, oh, word? Okay, I'll definitely hang with this guy. He's gonna give me a job. He's gonna have me playing ball. And he might give me a link to go and try out at least for the Nets and see what I got. Needless to say, the trial never materialized, but after a while, he kind of was like, listen, what's your decision? Are you going to continue playing ball? Because I'm going to have to take you off the training program. Or are you ready to, get a real position here? You can still play ball, try to be flexible with you, but I can't keep you on this training program. So I ended up taking a management position at the company. And I've been in management ever since for like the last 20 years. I actually now work for this bad boy. I don't know if you see that.
Verizon, okay.
So I've been in Verizon now for about 6, almost 7 years now. And I work in networking technology as a manager out the Dover.
Okay.
So I've been doing management. I got into management through that basketball situation and him knowing I went to Penn, and it kind of pushed me along, and I've been doing management ever since. I've just been in the management field. So, and now with Verizon now,
and it's a blessing, especially with this pandemic and
Absolutely.
with economics rising has been busier.
Yeah, about to say, yeah, that probably ain't stopped. Yeah, you talked about absolutely.
So it's been a blessing. But, yeah, I've been in management now for probably like 23 years now. So it's definitely helped me. The basketball plus being at Penn definitely helped pave those 20-something years to be where I'm at now.
Nah, good stuff, man. And thanks for your time. I'm not done with you yet, though. If you just give me a few more minutes, man. I know I hear the kids, everybody in the background. So if you got a couple of minutes just to hang with me. Couple of things, man. Actually with sports, man. What is sports giving you that stuck with you to this day? What is sports giving you?
Sports has given me, I would say, never say quit attitude. It's really made me a competitive person. Sports has made me someone that always want to do the best and be the best at whatever I do. If I'm doing something and I'm going someplace and it's a bowling tournament, I want to be the best bowler. Or if I have a management contest where you have to do something, I want to be the top person. So sports has taught me and made me a competitor naturally. I'm just competitive because I've been in sports all my life and in competition. So it's just come secondhand for me to want to be, as competitive as possible and put forth my best foot every time.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of putting your best foot forward, man, I got this thing I do, just putting people on the spot. I'm gonna some questions, man, and like I said, let me just see what you got here.
Okay.
All right, cool. Obviously, you're in Jersey. You taking the Turnpike or the Parkway?
I take the Parkway.
Being an Irvington guy, Chancellor Avenue or Stuyvesant Avenue?
Stuyvesant.
All right, being an Irvington guy again, what we doing? I'm about to date you here. You getting some clothes? You going Two Guys or we going Valley Fair?
Oh, Two Guys.
You remember that? You remember Two Guys?
Yeah, I remember Two Guys. Yeah. Valley Fair was popular. You know what? No, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say Valley Fair. Valley Fair was everything. Clothes, you get anything at Valley Fair.
All right, you need a night out. Message you a little bit some more, man. When you got older and obviously got the house a little bit, man, you were back around the way. You going to the Mint? You going to Marlowe's?
And I'm gonna have to say I've been going to Marlowe's. So.
Yeah, Marlowe's. Okay. I'll leave the adult establishments out in Irvington.
Oh.
I'll leave those out. No trouble here, man. Best game you ever played in your life at any level?
Best game I ever played in my life at any level had to be, man, there's a lot of games I can say I played really good, but I would say the best I felt was probably, damn, that's a tough one. I give you, well, the game that comes to mind when I played against Princeton, and my senior year, and I dropped like 24. I shot like 7 for 8 or 6 for 8 from the 3-point line. I couldn't miss, and that was probably one of the best games I've ever played shooting wise. I didn't shoot a lot, but when I shot the ball, I killed it.
It was on, yeah.
I was on.
Best team you ever been on in your life?
Probably my junior year, where me, Jerome, Matt, we were ranked 24th in the nation. So we were top 25. So we beat Michigan that year. We beat St. John's. We blew out USC, Ohio State. We beat a lot of teams. We lost. We got smacked by UMass that year when they were ranked #1 in the nation. But we were we were a really good team that year. That was the year we lost to Alabama in overtime when they had McDyess
and McCaffrey. They took
Okay.
us to overtime, and we lost to them. So,
What
but we,
round was that? What round was that? You remember?
that was right before the sweet. That was the second round.
Second round.
We beat Florida. We beat Florida the first round when they had the clerk,
Okay.
Andrew DeClerc, and the fat boy. I shouldn't say that about him, but Demetrius Poles was his name.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So we beat Florida State when they had those two, and the guard that went to the pros, I think was strict. And then we shot the ball terrible. I'm sorry, my bad. Scratch that out. We lost to them. We beat Nebraska the first round.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to Florida the second round. We beat Nebraska. I'm tripping. We beat Nebraska when they had Piatowski. Went to the Clippers, Eric Piatowski.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Clippers. We beat that team, and then we lost to Florida. So anybody out there that reps Florida, I'm sorry. We lost to Florida. My junior year, we lost to them. That's my sophomore year. We lost to them. Second.
Now, somebody who should have made it, whether it's college or the pro level, somebody just in your travels who should have made it.
I'll be honest with you. He made it, but he didn't make it for her. But he made it afterwards. Was Wally Dixon.
Wally, yeah.
Wally was at Rutgers, and I thought he was going to kill it, and then he just fell off at Rutgers. Not sure what the whole story was, but I thought he was going to make it to the pros. When I played with Wally, he had Michael Jordan type hops. He could jump from anywhere.
Yeah.
And he was dunking on everybody. And I said if he had developed a little bit of a jump shot, just a mid-range, he'd be unstoppable almost. But I thought he would do more at Rutgers. I didn't realize, it wasn't a good fit for him. But I thought he would do more.
Nah, good choice, man. Now, if you had a squad, somebody coming up, coming up to the Irvington High School, what five you picking to run with you? Say if you, we'll keep it AAU. Say if you had Gauchos coming over to Irvington High School to play, what five you picking to run with you?
And he put out, what are the credentials like that from Irvington?
No, they don't got to be from Irvington. Anybody in your era before you?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. All right, so I'm gonna put Luther in the middle.
Okay.
I'll put Luther in the middle. I'll probably put Brav at the point. I would probably have to play the two.
Okay.
Then put Cape. I'll put Kenya in there as a small forward, as a 3. And then I would probably put.
Need a 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking about who would play the 4. Tim Thomas.
Yeah, Tim. Okay.
With the 4.
I know you're leaving some. I know it's fun with these lists because you leave people off, but I give you a 6-man. Who would that be?
A 6-man in Jersey around my time.
Or just anybody that you might think you left off. You can use them as a 6-man.
6-man, I would have to put on a lot of good players. I mean, if I'm gonna keep it real, I'll probably not into somebody that I know. I'd have to I'll put Ira on there. Tell Ira I said I'll put him on there. I don't know if he put me on his team, but I'll put Ira on as a 6-man.
So okay. Now just kind of just wrapping up, man. What would this Donald tell that senior year Donald? What advice would you give him right now?
In high school, I would have told him, keep your mind open, stay positive, believe in yourself, and know that you can get it done. And don't let nobody tell you can't. And just stay focused. Don't fall for anybody's, BS, and, believe in yourself. I mean, that's what helped me get to where I'm going, where I got to. And as a senior in high school, I would tell myself, keep that same edge, that same killer edge, and just go out there and do what you're supposed to do, and things will happen for you. So just stay positive and stay focused.
Now I'm gonna sneak one in that since y'all have always been linked to each other pretty much even to this day. That senior Donald gets senior Kenya in a game of 7. Who wins?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd beat him. I'd beat Kenya. At that time, I was probably a little bit more skilled. He was more of an athlete.
Okay.
In high school. Now, maybe afterwards, maybe when he's a pro, he'd probably give me problems because Kenya developed into he played pro ball for like 15 plus years, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
He was in South America. He became very big out there. I played with him at a park, I think, not crazy long after we had graduated college and all that, but I could already see he was a whole different person playing overseas. He had a jump shot. He had a handle. The Kenya I knew in senior high school, he was pretty much an athlete.
Yeah.
He out jumped people. He was very athletic for his size, raw when it came to actual like skill, but he had the tools to get better. You could tell because as he started playing more and being around basketball more, he developed more he actually developed his senior year. He was getting better even on his senior year. He was doing things that he wasn't doing at the beginning of his of the year. So I think I would take him out though in high school, but he probably would hurt me a little bit in the pro level.
Yeah. Now, even with all this being said, Donald, man, I want to say thank you. And I say thank you just because, again, we're the same class, 92. I got to see you guys just, transition into to the elite. And obviously, we spoke about earlier how that just carried on after you guys left, man. But just to watch you guys just ascend, just kind of, I'll say out of nowhere, for lack of a better phrase, but just to ascend and, what you guys became, particularly you, man. And I just think, even hearing about you being from Brooklyn and just seeing how solid, that foundation was your parents set, man, and just obviously it's where you got to where you're at today here, just the way you think, it kind of moves you make, and decisions you make. I'm sure all of us being parents, sometimes we're like, we ain't gonna never be like our parents, but I'm sure we do damn near almost everything our parents do, you know what I mean? As far as certain things, like, damn, I said I wasn't gonna be that person, but I say all that to say, athletically, man, even got to seeing you, when you was younger, playing for North Hawaii and everything, man. It was just a great, just to watch you, man. And I think, I told you before, just being like a sports junkie around Essex County, just Jersey, man, like, it's just cool. Like even with the all county stuff, I actually snuck on the third team with you guys, senior year,
Okay.
as far as senior year. And y'all played us my junior year, Mackley. I think it was over like a first round game or what have you.
I remember Moxley, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you guys won, but even outside of sports, man, just to make that decision to go to Ivy League school, to endure those stumbling blocks academically, man, and just to persevere through that, man, that says a lot. And I think someone even watching this, man, just being from the city around the way, whether it's North Irvington, EO, all that stuff links in, man. We all connected, and I think just for someone just to see that, and I'm sure you heard this a million times, man, but I just think just to see that happen, man. Like, you could easily just went to Fairleigh Dickinson or wherever you said you was going to go, but you stuck it out at an Ivy League school. And obviously those connections you carry on to this day here. You talked about, the guy from Pathmark, owner from Pathmark, running with him. And I'm sure you just the network and the connections you have to this day, man. I just wanted to say thank you for the man you've become and everything that you've done him and how you let athletics work for you. You know what I mean? You didn't let it used it just as much as it used you. You know what I mean? I just wanted to say, like, thank you, man. Like, you just being officially you, man. You don't know from 2 towns, 3 towns over, man. You helped me be officially me, man. And I really appreciate that. And like I said, I reached out, you didn't bat an eye, said, I got you. And I appreciate you just taking time out. I don't know how many steps you got in walking around today. I don't know if you got your Fitbit on, walking around, but I appreciate the time. Like I said, you just reached, just talking or what have you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you. Those words are kind, and I thank you for the words, man. It definitely makes me feel happy that someone is appreciative of what I tried to accomplish, and I thank you for you letting me go back to my memory banks and reliving some of those moments that are very, very positive for me. And I'm happy to hear that it was a good effect on a lot of people, including yourself. And I'm just happy that I was able to accomplish what I did and keep accomplishing what I can. And for anybody that watches this and anybody's out there, I'm glad you're doing something like this to be positive and to share these memories and information with people. So hopefully it affects the next person in Irvington, like you said, or in Essex County or wherever they watch this from,
Right.
and that they can make it happen. It ain't just for the people that live in a nice house. You can have a nice house too, and you can have a nice stuff. It's not about where you come from. It's about what you do with what you're given and how you apply yourself and,
Right.
make yourself a better person. So thank you for letting me share that with you.
Appreciate it, man. I know those kids quiet down, so they about to give you hell when you go in that house. Man.
Yeah, I got a little too quiet, so I'm about to go up inside now to see what's going on.
All right, Donald, man. I appreciate it, family. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it as well, man. Be well and good luck with everything.
All right, back at you, man.
All right, brother. Later.
Right. Yeah, good stuff, man. Solid brother, man. Just obviously that city life, still city life in college, but the rigors of Penn and just his transformation as far as just making things happen for himself, man. It was just great. But also, man, just another go round with this official things, Essex County all day, man. So with that being said, put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.